may this be one of the best moments of your life. You're listening to the Business Mirror Podcast for a broader look on business with Senior Editor Dennis Estopace.
Good day, I'm Dennis Estopace, and welcome to Wednesdays with John Mangun, a podcast to be anchored by John Mangun, a columnist for the Business Mirror newspaper and who operates a website titled mangunonmarkets.com. Mr. Mangun will share with us one of the many pieces he wrote for his column titled Outside the Box, which is published every Tuesday and Thursday in the op-ed section of the Business Mirror. We hope you enjoy your Wednesday with John Mangun.
The Roaring Twenties. It obviously only happens once in a century, when the year is a repeated number like 1818, 1919, and now 2020. In addition, 100 years ago, the world entered the Roaring Twenties, which was not just an American experience. While our 20s is starting out with a roar, the headlines from the first few weeks of 1920 are not much different if you squint a little and maybe change a name or two. Quote, hundreds of people were killed in an earthquake in Mexico with an epicenter near the Pico de Orizaba in Veracruz state. The final death toll of the 7.8 magnitude quake was 648 people. There has not been a major earthquake, but the Australian brush fires are front page news. Quote, 42 demonstrators were killed in Berlin when city police began using bombs and machine guns to protest the crowd. Now, protests have been continuing in France and Hong Kong and have been pushed back to the back pages are the protests against the government in Iran, where potentially thousands have been killed and more jailed. And speaking of the Middle East, in January 1920, quote, Prince Faisal ibn Hussein al-Hashemi of Syria and Prime Minister George Clemenceau agreed privately in Paris that France would recognize limited autonomy for Syria, with Faisal as the king of Syria. Europe and the United States have been calling the shots, both figuratively and literally, in that region for more than 100 years. The populist movement is also not an invention of the 21st century. The political powers that be and globalists did not like it back then either. Quote, a group of about 100 anti-government rebels in Haiti, the Cacos, made a surprise early morning attack on the capital of Port-au-Prince, only to discover that government police and an occupational force of U.S. Marines had been informed of the plot. At least 116 of the Cacos were killed in the battle. Are you worried that the government, any government, is looking over your shoulder when you were on the internet? In 1920, they were infiltrating public meetings and reading subversive pamphlets and leaflets. Quote, a second nationwide roundup of suspected communists was carried out in the United States on 300 suspected open and secret gathering places of radical cults. There were some famous people born in 1920, including Pope John Paul II and Frank Sheeran, the subject of the Netflix movie The Irishman. The United Nations estimates that there are about 320,000 centenarians born in 1920 or before. That figure is estimated to increase to 3.2 million by 2050. In fact, you may be attending the christening of a child born this year that could live to see 2121. On the social front, the 1920s was when movies really began to take off. The technology was good, and $2 billion, which is $25 billion today, was pumped into the movie industry by the Big Five production studios. By comparison, streaming video is rapidly becoming like the cinema was 100 years ago. Alcohol prohibition started almost exactly 100 years ago in the U.S., and today we have come full circle with marijuana as a legal drug. Thailand's Prime Minister just demonstrated the use of medical marijuana in a public event last month. No mention was made if he also demonstrated how to devour a bag of medical French fries. The Roaring Twenties, though, led to the Great Depression and economic chaos that brought the foundations of World War II. We should be equally optimistic and yet prepared.
Thank you for listening to the Business Mirror podcast. For a broader look on business, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Business Mirror. Until next time.